Hello and welcome to the BAM Cam podcast with your hosts, Jack Burnette and Alison Castellano. I'm Wendy McConnell. It's just the two of you, just like old times.
Yeah. It's going back to some of our early episodes where it was just Alison and me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that Adrian has not fled the country or anything.
No, he's still with us. He's still part of the team, but he just did not need to be part of this episode today because we're going to talk about my past and some of the mistakes I made as I was starting out my career.
This is labeled "Throw Alison Under the Bus" episode.
Yeah, this is the "Throw Me Under the Bus" episode.
You know what, Alison? We all do it. We all don't talk about it in a podcast, but bravo to you for being brave. Okay.
But we did think it's a good idea because Alison is not unique. Well, all of us, even Barbara and I made some mistakes as we were growing up and we figuring life out along the way. And we've been fortunate that I think we've made more good decisions than bad.
And that's really what financial wellness is about, is making more good decisions than bad decisions.
Absolutely. So, and obviously once something has already happened, you can't rewrite history. You can't undo it. You can't rewrite history. So we want to make good decisions going forward.
But I think when you can recognize some patterns, it helps you move forward when you recognize some of those mistakes and you can rewrite the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. So why don't we back up to shortly after you graduated with your master's degree?
Yeah. So that's 2012. We're going all the way back to 2012 right now. And y'all remember I was a teacher first. That was how I started my career. And so I graduated with my master's in education for the French language. And so I was going to be a French teacher, and, not every high school offers French. So in the meantime, I moved back home with mom and dad, and I got a job at Lululemon. And that was kind of my backup plan until I found a job, and I really lucked into a teaching job. So I kind of thought that Lululemon might be a summer gig, but it turned into a 6-year gig. Because I just was having a lot of fun with that job.
Right. And Lululemon was a really good, positive working environment.
It was a great
with
working environment.
With some really good people that are, some of them are still friends today.
It turned out to be a really great job for my personal relationships. I don't know that it was great for my wallet, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But I did luck into eventually, I think I got hired in June. So pretty early in the summer, I found a teaching job. And, one of the things that people don't understand about teachers, first-year teachers, when they first get hired, they're hired in the summer, and then they spend all summer learning the curriculum, getting their classroom ready. A lot of times they have to go to required training starting in July.
Correct.
School starts in early August. And do you remember when that first paycheck came?
End of September.
The last working day of September. So I was doing all the prep work June, July. School started in August. So I was working and teaching every day in August, and then working all through the month of September, and didn't get my first paycheck until the very last working day of September.
I've always thought that's such a strange thing about the school systems in Alabama. First of all, they're paid monthly, not biweekly, not biweekly or semi-monthly or whatever. And I get that, but it makes it very, very difficult for teachers are just getting started unless they have help from parents or whatever, a family or a spouse or whatever that can do that. Just the cash flow of getting started into the field of education in Alabama is...
It puts people in a really difficult position. And I was lucky that I had the family support and I was living at home. But, imagine a first-year teacher renting an apartment and having to pay utilities, and you're working at least 2 whole months without a paycheck.
Yeah.
You have to feed yourself. You have to keep a roof over your head. That's hard to do. And a lot of people can rack up credit card debt doing that.
Now, I will say on the back end of that, when you retired from teaching,
yeah,
you got paid
through
June,
August.
July, and August, even though your classes ended in May.
Yeah. So the back end is not a horrible situation, but the front end really, really is. And, credit card debt is not a easy thing to reverse. So I was really lucky that I had that family support, that I was living at home and I wasn't paying rent and for my groceries and, all of those things. And I didn't have to fund my classroom on my own. Y'all really helped a lot with that. But, that's one thing that puts people in a really difficult position.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were making some money at Lululemon.
I was making some money at Lululemon.
Full-time for a couple of months for the summer until you started really getting involved in the schoolwork. And then it went to a part-time gig where I think you worked about 10 or 12 hours a week.
Yeah, usually about 2 days.
Yeah.
And that was fun. It kept me involved with my Lulu peeps, but it kept me there purchasing clothes because I don't know, y'all, temptation is hard. And when you're always around wonderful, pretty new clothes, it's just hard to resist that temptation. And I got into that a lot. One of the things that I struggled with was emotional spending. It felt good to swipe the credit card.
At least temporarily.
Yeah. Well, and then I'd be happy with my purchase for about a day, and then I'd be, oh my gosh, why did I do that? I didn't need that pair of shorts. I only have 40 other pairs of shorts.
Right.
But it felt good to swipe my credit card.
And 20 of them still have tags on them.
I did get into that situation too.
Right. No,
yeah.
I think you actually, in hindsight, and and maybe Mom and I could have done a better job of helping you too, but I think you were struggling with self-esteem a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think your dating life wasn't what you would like it to be. I think you were struggling a little bit. You were struggling a little bit with weight.
Yeah.
Which has been on and off through.
It's been a struggle for a lot of my life.
For a lot of your life, where you struggle with your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And listeners to the podcast understand that we try to promote not only financial wellness. Obviously, that's Eater Financial Wellness is the name of our company, and our financial advisory firm, but we really advocate wellness on multiple fronts. We want you to pursue physical wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, in addition to financial wellness, because those are the components that you really need, I believe, to have a chance at having real peace and happiness in your life. So it becomes very important to pursue all of those. And I think you were a little lost.
I was lost. I spent a lot of my 20s a little lost.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add another one. I think even vocational wellness. And I think that was something that I realized kind of early on in my teaching career. This is not it. This is not for me. And struggling with that realization of you've gone to college to pursue something and it's just not it, that's hard.
Right. Well, that's not unusual, that vocational kind of wandering. When I went to college, I majored in accounting, and I liked accounting in school.
Yeah.
And I came out and was working in accounting, pursued my CPA and passed the CPA exam and that sort of thing. But I was not happy working in the field of accounting. And so very early in my career, I went a different direction and left public accounting. I was with what was the forerunner of Ernst & Young.
Yeah.
I was it was called Ernst & Winnie then. But I had a good job with a good firm and with people I liked, but I just did not enjoy the work.
Yeah.
So I made a change, and it was somewhat radical at the time to walk away after working so hard to become a CPA and just up and left it and so made some changes. So that vocational wellness is also part of that process.
Yes.
So anyway, so I do remember I felt like I tried to work with you to encourage you to not do this emotional spending, and I was not very effective.
You were not very effective. There's just some things need a different accountability partner than your dad.
Yeah, I would agree.
And this was just not a job for Dad. So, but what did happen is, and I'm kind of jumping ahead in the story a little bit, we can come back to this, is I found Adrian, and we decided to work together as a team, and we make a really, really good team.
I think you do.
So, but going back a little bit, I was also this was all happening when social media was really taking off. And I have really strong feelings now about influencer culture. And I didn't recognize how, harmful that influencer culture is to me until I kind of got some wisdom on me. But I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses weren't people that I knew, people that I saw every day. They were people that I had no clue, had never even met online. And you can't keep up with influencers who are receiving products from companies, who are promoting products, getting paid to promote products. It's hard to keep up with that. But I felt like I needed to. It was part of being an adult to be able to keep up with others.
Well, and that it's not real.
It's not real. And I have taken a step back now that I have some more wisdom. I can recognize that.
Well, and influencers, there's nothing really fundamentally wrong with influencers. It's a form of marketing that companies use out there to promote their products and services. But you need to be able to understand that you are being influenced, and you're being influenced with a purpose of what's going on, and that is to get your behavior to modify to their desired result.
And the social media algorithms got better and better and better, and
Absolutely.
I was seeing products that were things that I wanted, and so that was really, really hard, kind of coming of age as all of that's developing. You and Mom didn't have that when y'all were in your early 20s.
Thank goodness.
But it makes it really, really hard.
There's days that I wish I could go back to the days where you didn't have cell phones and you frankly didn't have email. And,
yes.
Life
was simpler, wasn't it?
Life was simpler. I'm old enough to go back to the days of black and white TV. So
I don't know. I like the color TV, but I could go back to a flip phone and probably be very happy.
I could go back to a rotary phone and be happy. So, it's just the world changes, and that's another thing. It's when you live as long as I have, you see a lot of changes over the course of your life. It's kind of fascinating to me to see what someone can observe over that period of time. But enough about that. I think that your biggest problem is that you did not really employ a budget. No, I was just out there willy-nilly doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I had no clue the breakdown of where all my money was going. I mean, I could guess a lot went to Lululemon, a lot went to clothes. Right.
How
much of it was going to savings or retirement?
Not enough. Only really what was required for my pension plan. And that was something that, looking back, I kind of feel like I lost a decade.
Right.
Because I didn't understand how the teacher's retirement system worked. I didn't
Which was another problem, really a mistake you made, is not educating yourself.
Yeah.
Until after you left the profession.
Yeah.
About how it worked.
And I wish that I had started saving in my 20s. You know, that also would have required that I was on a stricter budget and, you know, I was more financially aware of what was going on in my life. But, yeah, I feel like I lost a decade.
So, well, you know, some would argue that discipline isn't fun. But I would say that you probably actually found when Adrian came into the picture and y'all actually started, he brought discipline to your household.
Yeah.
That it was fun.
Yeah.
You could actually see progress. And
progress is fun.
And progress is fun.
Yeah.
And so your mindset changed, and what really started fueling you was not the spending.
Yeah.
But the winning.
Yeah.
And making progress financially towards certain goals and establishing savings and you know, Adrian came into with some student debt into your household and so forth like that. So y'all had to also, you know, he had to work on things. He was already working on things, but when he came into the picture, but y'all had to work on things because y'all had a goal to be debt free except for a mortgage.
Yep.
Which y'all have done.
Yep.
It'd been that way for some time.
Yeah. Before we got married, we were debt free except for a mortgage. So that was a really nice feeling, and it still is a nice feeling. And I'm not sure that we could have tackled the infertility and the IVF journey if we had credit card payments, car payments, you know, student loan payments. It would have been even harder than it already was. And, you know, we were pinching pennies for that.
Yes, you were. Yeah, I was real happy to see that change in your life. And then, you know, you also, you didn't just, everything was not the wrong decision that you did, because you did buy your first home.
I did.
A condo. Before Adrian was in the picture.
Yep.
And that proved to be a very good choice for you. Now, it was not an expensive condo. It was a small little one-bedroom condo
but it was perfect
Homewood.
For someone living on their own.
But it was a perfect starter home and everything. And you actually were able to sell it for a nice profit.
Which helped us get into our home that we're in now.
Right.
So, you know, that was probably the biggest financial win of my 20s.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that.
Okay. So you made some good decisions along with some of the bad decisions. And I think that one of the things that I have experienced as a financial advisor over the last 20-something years is that often people are embarrassed by their bad decisions and where they are. And one thing I want to encourage our listeners to do is to understand is that we don't judge. You know, your life is what it is. We want to help people make good decisions going forward and how to fix people's lives and make the best of what we can going forward. We can't rewrite history.
Yeah. And we want to bring our clients peace and happiness.
Correct.
And, you know, if we can help with the financial aspect of that and encourage their pursuits of physical wellness and emotional wellness and spiritual wellness and vocational wellness, then we'll do that.
But, you know,
too.
we're not going to sit here and say, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Because I've probably done the same thing.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's important, but it is a very real thing that people are reluctant to work with a financial advisor. They're reluctant to ask for help because they feel like they've dug a hole.
And they feel like they need to clean up their mess before they meet with someone. And we're here to help you.
We're helped to clean up. We have brooms and mops
we can
and things.
Clean.
And so we want to help clean up and help put people on the right path from that perspective. So I think it's important for our listeners to know that, you know, no one is perfect. No one has a perfect batting average. Even I love baseball analogies. A great hitter is a 300 hitter. That means they get a hit 30% of the time, and that's a high failure rate.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh,
Sure. That means there's 70% failure rate.
Yeah.
It's an oversimplification, but that is a great hitter.
Yeah.
In life, you want to have a good, solid batting average, and some of those differences are things that a financial advisor can help guide you to make a better decision than maybe you might make on your own. And that's where we come in with Eater Financial Wellness and trying to help people to raise their batting average so that when you come out at my age, that your life can be it'd be all that you dream for it to be.
Yes.
But the foundation needs to be laid in your 20s, preferably. And even though you wasted most of yours, I think there's a path that you can see that it's still not too late.
Yeah.
But if you had lived that way continuously into your 50s or 60s,
I would wake up one morning and had a oh no moment.
Right.
And I probably would have not said oh no. It probably would have been a little bit more colorful.
Right. So anyway, what we want to do is encourage y'all to not judge yourself for what maybe you've already done, but look forward and see how maybe we can help from that standpoint. I can assure you, Allison and Adrian have walked that walk, and Barbara and I have too.
And we still are walking that walk.
Absolutely.
It's about discipline over many, many years.
Yeah.
Discipline over 1 year is not going to change much of anything.
But it still is rooted in the fundamentals of living within your means.
Yes.
Which you've heard me say that many, many times.
Nearly my whole life, and it took until I was about 29 to realize it.
Well, that's fine. I'm proud of you anyway. And even though I was frustrated.
You were so frustrated with me, but now it's much better.
Right. And I will tell you, Adrian has proven to be a much better accountability partner for you than I was able to as dad.
Yeah.
I think sometimes having someone that's not family, not dad, is a good thing. So having a financial advisor or having spouses need to get on the same page.
Yes.
It's very important.
That is very important.
And that would have been a stress on your relationship if you had not gotten on the same page with Adrian.
Yeah. It would probably mean that our relationship would not have survived.
Well, perhaps. So we don't want to think about that.
No.
So anyway, how can they reach us, Allison?
You can email us at info@eaterfw.com. That's ITER.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing from y'all, and we'd love to help be your accountability partner.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for opening up today. We appreciate it. We like the real stories, and thank you for listening. Please follow, and share this podcast with your friends. Until next time, I'm Wendy McConnell.
Thank you for listening to the BAMCAM podcast with Jack Burnette and Alison Castellano from Eater Financial Wellness, a financial advisory practice at RFG Advisory. To get in touch with us, visit today's show notes or go to our website at www.eaterfinancialwellness.com. That's ITERfinancialwellness.com. And please click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available.
Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. Information here may be provided in part by third-party sources. These sources are generally deemed to be reliable. However, neither our guests nor RFG Advisory guarantee the accuracy of third-party sources. The views expressed here are those of our guest. They do not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, its employees, or its clients. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by RFG Advisory or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives of Private Client Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, LLC, RFG Advisory or RFG, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place. RFG Advisory is an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of RFG by the Commission, nor does it indicate that RFG or any associated investment advisory representative has attained a particular level of skill or ability.